Hey, welcome to Never Dull Moment, and welcome to my garage, or my makeshift workplace, I might say. I would call this the commercial sharpening station. You might have had the opportunity to watch an episode where I went and visited Ryan Swanson at District Cutlery in Washington, D.C. It was quite a while ago, and we really do appreciate the time and attention Ryan gave us to teach us a lot. And I just want to share with you some equipment that he advised me to get to start out. So what we have here is the DAYTON. This is a Granger belt sander. This particular belt sander, it is a fixed speed, so it does not have variable speed, 3 horsepower. It has about 4,500 SF, how do you say it, sanding feet per minute. And it's about 3,500 RPMs as far as the disc on the side. I have never used the disc on the side. I will point that out. Maybe one day I'll get a little better. But we have been using this as a commercial sharpening station. I'm going to point out everything that's here in just a minute. I do want to point out some stuff. I don't have it out here. This particular belt sander, when it came out of the box, needed some modification. You know, Ryan Swanson has since upgraded to something a little bit more heavy duty. And if you're a knife maker, I know Brent Nolen has one of these. He's no longer using, he's upgraded. A lot of the guys are using much bigger, heavier, variable speed, wider belt kind of equipment. But if you're a commercial knife sharpener, this works amazing. And it's something you can use. This is a 2x42, so it's 2 inches wide, 42 inches around. And turns out that that's like a standard industry size. They come in different standard sizes. And so I was able to order belts that are specifically made for this size. It was great. I got in touch with Cliff Curry Cutlery, Curry Custom Cutlery. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll put a link above to the District Cutlery videos. But some of the belts you're going to see are not from Cliff. I definitely reached out to different purveyors to see if I could experiment with different things, and I've definitely learned the things that I like and don't like. But I want to first talk about some of the modifications that we did with this. So one of the things I want to point out is this is adjustable, meaning I can actually make this lay down horizontal and work with it. It does spin this way, so if I'm working with it horizontally, I would either have to have the knife facing this direction as the belt's coming down and then do it like this, or I could turn this around and have the belt running away and put the blade down like this. And so that might be something that you want to do yourself, depending on which direction you like it. Remember, if it's coming towards you, you need the blade towards you, because you don't want to put the blade into it. You're either going to make the knife shoot into yourself, or you're going to cut the actual belt and lose the belt itself. So it is nice that we have the versatility of this. Another thing that we want to point out is normally there is a cover here, and I needed to remove it because when you get to some of the thicker belts themselves will not go through this area. And my wife's going to come around and film the underneath of this. This is gone. We had to cut and remove this shell. Actually went around like this. And I think I have a video on my phone that I can edit in where this was here. But when you see the thickness, my wife will point to a belt right below her. When you see the thicknesses of some of these belts, belts, when they go on there, they are too thick. And they will not move. So you have to have the extra space to be able to go around that.
And what else did you do?
All right, so I mean that's basically it as far as the modifications go.
Didn't you do something to that part, or am I crazy?
Yeah, we made a custom platen. You know, we're not really supposed to get into that. You know, a little birdie taught me how to do something.
Okay.
And it's
my bad. Sorry.
It's his industry secrets or like whatever. But we did a little something unique to that, and I'll leave that as his kind of a thing.
Okay.
I do want to go ahead and throw a belt on here real fast. In case you guys don't know how to load this, take your belt, pull down pull down on this, and that'll loosen the tension so you can get it on. Okay? So come on back around and let's talk about the different belts that we have. Okay, so some of the things that we have laid out. Now, normally, I go ahead and pull everything. Listen, for those of you who are commenting, whether it's Ryan or Cliff or some other people who are commercial people, they do this all day. Yes, this should be pushed against the wall. There should be all types of breathing equipment and stuff like that. The belt should be hanging up behind me, in order so I can just grab like something like what Ryan Swanson has. I'm not out here that much, guys. I mean, my wife will tell you that this is set up all the time. I might run out here for a second. I still do a lot of hand stuff. Okay, and we're gonna make more of a sharpening station at some point. I have the horizontal machine. I can bring that out here, put a actual whetstone sharpening station, set up multiple tables. And my wife's gonna pan and show you, I have a fan that blows super hard.
Oh, yes.
That I actually turn on when we're working to keep the dust.
Yeah, it's good, and it's going out.
To keep the dust completely going away from me. So breathing is important. There is a lot of debris that comes off of this. So, keep yourself healthy. You'll notice that Ryan pulls up. I don't know if he's got a rebreather, but when I was there, he just had like a shirt, kind of a mask, like something he just brought up over his face to kind of help block. But let's go ahead and pan in some of this. So what we have here is, this is a Trizac belt. We got this from Cliff. So this is going to be my like 200 grit. So this is going to be, pretty. It's kind of funny if you're a hand sharpener. 200 grit is coarse, but not to these guys. I mean, 200 grit. Some of these people like sharpen knives, and they're just good at this. I mean, this is like their finisher. Okay, but we have a 200 grit on this. So this is known as the A100 for the Trizac. So if you are ordering from Cliff, he does a really good thing. I want to show you. I have my paperwork here, and I keep it handy as a reference. It actually has on there what the grit is. So when you get an invoice on there for what I got, you'll see that the A100 is a 200 grit, the A45 is a 400 grit, the 600, the 1200, the 2500. I would tell you that most people are probably not using the 1200 and 2500. They're just not. Maybe they're polishing and stuff like that, but most people are not sharpening a knife to that grit. To me, that seems strange, right? Because I'm used to the 1200 being like a starting point.
Yeah.
But combine that rate of speed, that belt, it becomes finer. It ends up, they don't translate. The grit on a belt and the grit on a whetstone is not the same thing. And it's very hard for your mind to make that transition. But 2500 grit on this is super fine, okay? So one of the things that you might do is you might work on a belt like this to take off the metal initially, make a burr, create a new apex. And that's going to look something like this. Like you would literally be able to lean in, hold the knife and pull it apart going across. And then take the knife coming back this way and do the same thing. So create your angle and pull it across. Then remember the belt is going down in this direction. Okay, so you really don't need to do but one or two passes. Remember, you're generating a lot of heat with the belt. The knife itself comes with a heat treat. So you don't want to spend a lot of time superheating the metal because you will change the hardness of the metal by doing that. But once you take off the metal doing passes, it would be time, and it's nice because you can do like a quick belt change once it slows down, and you can go to the next belt. So typically, a lot of times, between the A100, the 45, and the 30, I could kind of be done as far as sharpening. But I will tell you, let's say that something like this, let me put the 100 back on, it's doing a lot of cutting. And when it does a lot of cutting, you don't want to have to keep buying new belts all the time. And you will have to over time, but you can clean these. You can get a block like this and literally put it in, and it's going to actually help pull the material out of the belt. So as this is spinning,
that's why yours looks the way it does, huh?
Yeah, it's got superheated and everything like that. So you can actually put it in there, and it's going to pull material out of the belt, so you can get, it's going to get the load out of the belt.
Okay.
So we've got all these cutting belts, but then let's talk about polishing, stropping, buffing, things like that. So some other belts you're going to see is I have two felt belts. One is from Cliff, one is from Not. So one of them is loaded with green compound, one of them is loaded with black, and I'll show you what the black and green compounds look like. So the black compound is going to be kind of your roughest compound, but it's going to begin the buffing the process. Okay, so by having the black compound loaded up, again, I would put the belt on here. So it's pollen season where I live, and it's definitely got the best of me. But I would let that spin, and I would hold this on here. And as it's spinning, it would load up, and this changes color and gets darker as compound gets on there. I don't really know what exactly the black one is. I know this is, I believe it's chromium oxide, the green, and a lot of people use the green, and it is like their finest, most brightest finish. Okay, and so you'll also notice that I have a leather belt. This would be for stropping. I guess you could polish with it as well, but I have it loaded with green compound. Now, I will tell you that the leather belt comes with a smooth side and a rough side. I inverted mine to use the rough side. You can see the smooth sides on the inside. The smooth side had black compound. The rough side had the green compound. And I personally like the rough side. The last belt that we have on the table would be the cork. And there's those of you guys out there who know all about this. And the cork comes extremely rough to the touch. I mean, the cork actually has like little balls that are sticking up. And when you first feel it, you're like, I don't even know how to use this.
Okay.
So what happens is you have to put it on the machine, and you have to go get a big piece of metal. And you have to just grind the metal on there, and you literally have to soften the cork belt itself to get all that newness off of it and really wear it down. And then it becomes something that you can use. And if you go on YouTube and see other videos, I mean, they really wear this thing down a lot before it becomes a buffable thing. And of course, I have some black compound on there as well. I think at one time I first started off with gunny juice, and you know that can be expensive if you don't have a sponsor. So that liquid can only go so far. Adding a whole bunch of diamonds to this is not that you can't do it, but it does come at an expense. The last thing I'm going to show you is we do have some other belts.
Belt down.
Belt down. But if my wife wants to just point the camera over here. So we have this. This is again from Cliff. So you can see it says Cubitron on the inside. And this is a 50. This is an 80. And then from another distributor other than Cliff, we have a 120. You know, I have an 80. So we have a lot of different things to play with. And we even have from 3M, we have, this is so fine. It's literally like just so smooth. There. Yeah. And this is considered a 9 micron. So this is a much more finer. I don't know if you're sharpening or I think you're really pretty much just polishing. So I have a lot of backup belts. I have a lot of things that I get to play with. We're going to be doing some episodes coming up where I actually use this. And when I go to use this, it's going to make a lot of noise. So we'll have to stop and kind of say what we're going to do and then use it. I'd like to pick a better weather day. It had been raining here. It's nighttime now. The pollen's definitely out and I don't sound the best. But I wanted to give you an introduction to the equipment today because then I won't have to refer to the equipment in the next video. So we will be coming up shooting, and some of the videos coming up are, I am going to take a brand new out of the box, so it's kind of like a co-unboxing, but we're going to take a Shindo Gyuto, never used, with a Kuriichi finish, and we're going to remove the entire Kuriichi finish. We're going to have fun taking all the black off the knife, so we're going to unbox it, see how sharp it is.
Just because
no one's ever done a video on that. And so we're going to take the finish off and make a bright, shiny, polished knife, and then see from the process before we put a new edge on it, how sharp did it stay? Because we'd like to see if we can keep it. You know, those Shindo knives are super sharp out of the box. So I want to make sure that it stays sharp. Hopefully I don't have to put a new edge on it, but you know, maybe I have to refine the edge myself. The other thing we're going to do is I specifically have a Hinkle Eversharp, and it has got the serrated edge, and we're going to take off the serrated edge and put a straight edge on it. Because I don't know who's doing that, but might as well do that and have some fun. And we've got these super high grit belts right here that are like a 50 or an 80. I think this one's a 120. We've got the 80, the 50. It's going to remove some metal. So how about we have some fun and just make a brand new edge on that.
Just for fun.
And just for fun, and grind away some metal, and you guys can see what this thing can really do. I will tell you that when do I use this? I get sometimes 30, 80, 100 plus knives from the Culinary Institute. The chefs drop them off. The students have come to learn, about me from the head instructor who uses me. So now if people want to drop some stuff off, I can literally come out here and make a workspace and kind of go all through and then do for the better knives with better steel finish on stone inside the house. But but it definitely makes my workload go by a lot faster. And if you just ask Ryan Swanson, he's done 1,000 knives in a day.
I don't even.
It was a very long day.
Yeah, I was like, I can't.
I think he did it in an entire day, but I know he did 1,000 knives for like a hotel. Might have been the Ritz-Carlton, but anything. Anyway, this can really make your life a whole lot easier. And again, as sharp as you need it to be for chefs at that price point, you can get it done. If you need to make a handle, polish, refinish, you can make you literally could make an entire knife on this. It's beginner enough to get you in at an entry-level price. Again, I'll put a link in the description. And it's good enough to get you into the more elaborate things. But honestly, if you were making knives, you would definitely want to invest money in something bigger and more industrial with variable speed. But anyway, I'm glad to introduce this to you. It was a great introductory price. The price point is ridiculous. All right, so look back on the show in the coming weeks for us to use this machine and show you what we can do with it.
And some other stuff.
And some more. We got plenty more. We got some more unboxings to come. All right, thanks for checking in. Hopefully this wasn't a dull moment. God bless.